Remodeling Your Families, where we address 6 areas of health for families. I'm Emmalou Penrod, your family relationship coach, and here we talk about emotional health, financial, mental, physical, social, and spiritual. Our emphasis this month has been on mental wellness, and I checked out our other show hosts here at Win Win Women, and I found a show host that has the most positive approach towards mental well-being. So I am delighted to have Cara Jean Wilson join me. Cara, welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here.
So I'm curious, I know everyone has a story. I'd love to hear your journey to become the executive coach with such a
Yeah.
great handle on mind matters.
I would love to tell this story. So I will start it with a warning to everyone watching. We are going to talk about suicide. So just prepare yourself emotionally, physically, however you need. Okay. So 10 years ago, I was deep in the corporate hustle culture. I was scheduled at 50 hours, working 60 to 80 hours, feeling like I was falling behind if I wasn't killing myself to get ahead. You know, we all know this story. It is unfortunately common these days. But but also I was enjoying it. I was learning about coaching. I was diving into leadership development and creating courses for different companies, having a wonderful time. And then about 7 years ago, my brother committed suicide, and in 30 seconds, everything in my world changed. And nothing at the same time. I mean, that is the thing about loss, is that in my world, everything, it was like the world was on fire and I suddenly had to figure out how to walk on walls because nothing in my world made sense. But also, absolutely nothing changed. There was still the job and still the people, and life continued on. And it caused me to look at the world differently. Now that I'm walking on walls, everything's the same, but from this angle, it's just a little different. And I leaned into that. I have a tendency when things are uncomfortable to want to lean in and understand more. That is my go-to nature. So I leaned into it. I leaned into mental health. I leaned into as someone who has had depression and anxiety since 8 years old, what are the things that part of our nature, what is part of that we nurture, that forces those divisions, where someone in the same household struggling with the same things, and we're real open in my house about it. Like, we talk about this stuff openly and a lot. Mental health, what you're doing for it, who you're working with it. So it really came out of left field when he was gone. And he did it beautifully. We can tell that story another time. But it forced me to look at it deeply, and in a place where I was incredibly lucky to be working for a company that put people first, and not just in words, which we hear a lot out in the world, but actually, the CEO found out what was going up and called and said, look, I have 2 stores up by your folks. I'll create a position if you want to move and be home with them.
Wow. Wow.
That's unheard of, right? And of course,
Yes.
like all of us adults who feel like we have to do everything entirely by ourselves, I was like, oh no, I can handle all of this stress, plus managing 100 people, plus creating a course for our training. I've got it all. And then I had a hard day. And then my mom had a hard day. And I was like, you idiot. You could literally be home right now. Why did you say no? So then I had to call my boss and be like, okay, I'm going to say it slow, because I know I don't say this enough. You were more right than me. And yes, I would like to move home.
You had to accept that you needed help.
I did. And I did. And I got to move home, and I got to lean into leadership development, and I got to get certified as a coach, and I got to start creating courses for leaders so that they can develop. And what I learned was all of the basic leadership development tools, skills, and mindsets are literally designed for the chronic stressors of working with other people. And I don't know anybody who gets out of this without having to work with other people. So they're literally like life hacks. And I thought we got to get this out to everybody.
Mhm.
It got me doing individual coaching and put me out on my own.
Well, and I want to point out that parents are leaders too, and they are under stress. So you indeed have written something that can help a broad
It's
audience.
it designed that I say on a regular basis what I knew in leadership, but you know how you know something, but you don't know till you know?
Mm-hmm.
I knew that you had to handle and take care of yourself to be able to handle other people. Oh, but there's nothing like having a 3-year-old in meltdown. If you don't handle this hot mess before you address that hot mess, it's a dumpster fire and a train wreck going down an avalanche. No one is winning. No one is winning.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely. So you lived it, you learned it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Live it. I mean, to this, it's not that I present really happy because I do holy bunches of behind the scenes work on maintaining my meat suit, my hormone soup, developing the mush management, allowing my stardust to sparkle. Those are my 4 basics. And I still am depressed. I still have anxiety. They don't just evaporate into nothingness, but they become manageable. Rather than them managing me, I have learned how to manage them.
That is huge. And I'm glad you said that, because someone just listening to you will think, oh, she doesn't have any problems. She's got it all together. So being vulnerable and admitting, no, I still struggle,
Yeah.
but that you have learned to manage it. Okay. All right. I want to hear this.
And I did. I created the whole training, the CARA Method, my show, my course,
Mhm.
were designed because so I'm neurospicy. The term clinically is neurodivergent. I reject that on foundation and take spicy. Also, I have so many lovely diagnoses. I collect an entire spice rack within myself. You know, uh, I don't know how many therapists have dumped me because they helped me through a portion. They're like, you have all the coping tools I would give you. And I was like, that's not helpful. I still need more. Yeah. So I created my own. I created one framework that can be adapted for when I'm at home, for when I'm at work, for when I'm working with clients, for when I'm working with friends. I can use this same process all the way through. And it's simple not being easy. The hard part of all of this conversation, the hard part of mental wellness isn't that the concept is challenging, isn't that the concept is, or that people are so dynamically diverse. Really, the concept is fairly simple. Humans themselves are fairly simple, but we do love to complicate it, and
Mhm.
not necessarily great at doing every day until we're good at something. We just have this desire to be good at
Mhm. Mhm. Now,
it. Right now, please. Yesterday, can I get it yesterday? That'd be great. Yeah. But we're not quite to the download of the matrix space yet, so for the rest of us who aren't there, we got to do the things every day, and so that's built into it. It's designed as a double helix. So I'm going to get a little sciencey and nerdy. I create a leadership ladder, the CARA method: clarify, assess, realign, achieve. You climb up that ladder to success. It's really, really, really that simple. There is so much that goes into the training that tells you why and how and what are some of the tools for that. But it really is that simple. And the magic is the more you go up that ladder, the more you commit to that path, to getting the clarity and then assessing what you can do, realigning on what you will do and who you will do it with, and then achieving just so you can get to do it again and again, like a ladder up and down, right? But the more you do that, you take that stationary ladder and you turn it into a double helix, and it literally becomes part of your DNA. You can activate success in your genetics because of what you choose to do. That is the biggest thing that I have learned in this decade deep dive into mental wellness and leadership is
Mhm,
you matter.
mhm.
You matter so much that simply choosing to do something today that makes you smile, simply because for no other reason than it makes you smile, activates joy in your genetics. And we can track with science in real time how that impacts the genetic activation of the people around you.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
So if you can do that when you choose to smile, imagine if you choose to think about the negatives. Your choice
Uh-huh.
matters. That was a big drop.
Yeah. So moms that want a happy home can do it.
Literally.
It starts with them.
And it does. And it really is moms. Okay. So I decided, and y'all are gonna laugh at me so hard right now, and I give you full permission to laugh out loud when you hear this. Because I was doing that whole hustle culture life, right? 80 hours a week. I thought when I'm on maternity leave with all that free time, I'll start a business at the same time.
Oh yeah. Oh, Cara. Cara Jean. Woo.
Nobody told me beforehand as I was saying this out loud. Nobody laughed in my face, but afterwards, they're like, "So how'd that work out for you?" And I was like, "Oh, postpartum was a whoo whoo." So 6 months later, after some therapy and medication, we actually got the ball rolling. Yes, but you can't. I mean, that's the thing. You can really, moms, it's that simple. Choose happy. And simple not being easy, like I get it. In those moments, one that just came up for me, uh, colored on the floor in marker.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not be irritated? How many times have you had to clean that spot, period? And now there's a big old mark in it, besides the fact that you're the one who paid for that floor to be there in the first. Like, I get it. There's so many frustrations that could happen. Also, did anybody die? Is anything going to explode because the floor now has paint on it or color on it?
Mm-hmm.
So you could choose to get mad for all of those very, very valid reasons. Or you could choose to decide no one died and nothing's going to explode. Well, this is irritating. Let's go somewhere else so I don't have to look
Wise choice. Choose happy.
at it. Yeah.
And there's always something to be grateful for. If you just started with, like you said, being grateful the house isn't destroyed.
That is my new standard for all decisions as a mother, as a wife, as a child, as a sibling, as an entrepreneur, as a coach. Is anybody going to die? Is anything going to explain? Well, let's do it then. Why not? Okay.
Wow, that sense of adventure. That's got to keep your life fascinating.
The choice to see the good, to see the adventure, to have that curiosity. I am incredibly grateful for my own child for keeping that alive in me and teaching me how important it is to keep that in life. I mean, one of the phrases I use in my training is, who are we kidding? The best part of
Mhm.
adulting is that we get to make the rules and be a kid every day. And we forget that because we have all of these other people. We have tons of expectations. I'm not saying that those go away, but there are expectations, there are laws, and there's the rules. We get to make the rules.
Uh-huh.
So if you're not having enough fun in your life, you're the adult, change the rules.
Yeah. Add fun to your life.
Yes.
I
You're
mean,
worth it. You deserve it.
yes, yes. We can learn a lot from children this way. They know how, it doesn't take much for them to have fun. They're
Mm-mm.
curious. They want to explore the world.
Yeah. Story on that. So just about not quite 2 years ago now, our house caught on fire. Well, technically our neighbor's house caught on fire and it caught our house on fire. Everyone is fine. All the things are fine. I mean, even our book survived, which was amazing. Plants all survived. It was great. So it was just stuff. And we came to that realization thanks to my kid. It was 5 days after his second birthday. Now, he had been asking for a bonfire for his birthday for weeks. But I live in the desert of Washington, and it was 115 degrees all week long, and Mommy didn't want to make a fire. Mommy didn't want to do it.
No, no.
But he, for sure, to date, believed that the house fire was his bonfire. I mean, who wouldn't? He's a 2-year-old little boy, and the house was all,
Birthday present.
literally every single one of the local cities sent their fire. So we had fire trucks and fire people everywhere. They got out the hoses, they were on the ladders. He got to go inside the truck. They gave him a teddy bear, which they do because it's traumatizing for kids and they want to help that. But that's his fire bear. 2 days. He's like, this is my fire bear. I'm like, yeah, that is. They got the fire out and he was like, Mommy, can we have more? And I was like, no, we all done though. So that was fun though. I'm
glad to start an annual tradition.
Yeah, so I'm either raising a firefighter or a pyro. I'm not sure yet. But that kind of innocence. I mean, what a way. Here we are in our adult heads thinking about all the things. You know, the house is on fire. What about the stuff that's in the fire? Okay, after we get back in, once the fire is out, what about dealing with the damage? How do you muck that out? Is there people that you call? What are we going to do about sleeping arrangements? Also, we haven't eaten. This fire's been going on for so many hours. We're still just in our pajamas. Probably we should get some clean underwear. I wonder where we could take a our brains are so full. And here's this little person who comes up happy as can be, jumps into my arm. He's like, Mama, I gotta go inside the fire truck. Bro, that's awesome. Way better than what's going on in Mom's head right now.
Yeah. Oh,
bless them. Thank goodness.
Yes. Oh, indeed, indeed. So taking care of our mental wellness, choosing happiness.
It really is that simple.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you have to do it. You have to do it every day. You have to do it when you don't want to. You have to do it when it's hard. You have to do it when everything is going sideways, like your house is on fire.
Uh-huh.
You still have to choose it then. But in doing that, and we know this, I'm not about to give you information that you're going to be like, wow, Cara, that's amazing. You're such a genius. I've never heard that before. You're really going to be like, oh, yeah, I knew that. But you know, I know, we all know because we were kids at one point in our life and we didn't know how to walk or talk or eat or drink. We literally had to learn all of those things. And everyone around us absolutely knew more than we did.
Mm-hmm.
But we also know that we did it and we did it again. And the first time, it's not cute. If you ever watch a kid trying to learn how to go upstairs, they don't just like put their foot on the step and start walking, like try to walk. No, they lift their foot up and set it down. And they lift their foot up and they set it down. Then they lift their foot up and they slide it forward and they set it, come back. And then they put their foot on the stairs and they're like, did you see that? Did you see me just, like, yeah, foot's on the stair. Good job, you. And they're like, yeah, I did that. Okay. And then they take their foot down. And they haven't even made it to the first step yet.
Uh-huh.
Us. So this habit, this practice of choosing happy, little, you're going to do it when it's going to start when it's really easy, when it makes sense. I'm going to choose this happy. Or you'll find yourself frustrated in traffic and then you'll just, oh, I'm choosing happy.
Okay. So it's a matter of controlling those thoughts, of just replacing a happy thought with an angry thought or a sad thought.
And sometimes it'll feel disingenuous, like you're not actually happy, even though you have said it, you've thought it, you've said it, you're smiling, you're behaving the shit out of it. Sorry for the language. Even with all of that, it will still, you're like, but I'm not actually, I'm still mad. That's cool. What you are doing physiologically in your brain for your wellness is carving patterns into your brains. You are literally giving birth to neurons, to little electrical creatures that communicate up and down your brain. Neurogenesis. the term. You literally are creating life in your brain simply by choosing to think it, to speak it, to behave it into existence. Even if it doesn't feel real in the moment, you can still build that pathway by using those, I call them the magic three, those three tools: think, speak, behave. And the more you do that, not the first time, not the 10th time, probably not even the 100th time, but you're going to be, for me, it was 7 years down the line. And suddenly you'll be in a moment and you'll just be so happy. Nothing is happening. There's nothing, but it's a perfect moment. In this one moment, everything is great. And you'll recognize that in every moment, that there is just a moment, even within the pain and the stress, that is okay, that is good, that has joy in it. And you start to find them. And they start to show up. So you're going to spend a long time looking for them. And then one day, almost as if by magic, it's not, it's because you've done the work. But it will feel like magic when suddenly they just start appearing for you.
Now
So
say those three words again. Think,
speak, and behave.
think, and what was the second one?
Speak.
Speak. Think,
Behave.
speak, and behave. So think happy,
Yep.
speak happy,
Yep.
and then behave happy.
Yeah. Actually, I have a really good practical tool for this. If this is a thing that you are struggling with, especially as we are leaning into the month of love, think about how everything works for me. One of the phrases my father has said my entire life is, it always works out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean it's working right now, but also it's not the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I like that one.
Right. So I think everything works for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I say it out loud. And I have attached a hand, I draw a little heart. One of my clients does a figure eight. I have one client that does like little happy jazz hands. She goes, everything's for me. It's the cutest thing ever. I love it. But you literally find reasons that everything works for me. I go to take a drink of my coffee. Oh, there's still coffee in there. Everything works for me. I go to grab for a pen. It's right where I wanted it. Oh, everything works for me. I need to get in the car and the keys are right there. Oh, everything works for me. I get in the car and don't have to fill up gas. Everything works for me. You think it, you speak it, and you do a little body action. Build it in. And you will really fast, within 24 hours, notice a change, because you will have built a 3-lane highway in your brain within 24 hours around a reality that everything works for you.
And creating those new neural pathways.
Yep.
That's huge.
Huge.
Wow. What a difference that would make for every family. And I believe that families are the foundation of society. We can help strengthen those families. We make the world a better place. So if it started with, usually mothers spend more time with the children. If it started there and she was living it and doing it, her children would follow her example and do it too. And then they're going to school or they're going to play with their friends and they're modeling it.
Yeah. Yeah. We've said for years that attitudes are contagious, but we can track it now.
Oh, yes. Yes, you're starting a whole movement here, Cara Jean. This is awesome.
I hope so. I feel like if people knew how much they mattered, I think that's one of the, we have a loneliness epidemic, and it's not because people are alone, but because they are lonely. And if you really knew how much you mattered and how connected you are to everything around you. Mamas, I think of it, or daddies, when you get in a group and somebody's holding a baby and then everybody starts doing the baby sway.
Yes.
That is evidence that we are all so deeply connected. That same sway, if you look out in a field, it's the way that grass moves. It's the way that trees move. We are all so, so connected. And if you knew that, if you could really lean into understanding that and tie that to how much it mattered, you'd never be lonely again.
Exactly. This is wonderful. This is powerful stuff. So you've written some online courses. and you do coaching. And you have, tell us when your show is and the name of it.
So the CARA Method on Win-Win Women is on Tuesdays at noon Pacific Standard Time.
All right. And what's the best way for people to contact you if they want to learn more about your online courses and your coaching?
I am very easy to reach. You can find me on my website, www.takingcarabusiness.com. Email me, Cara Jean at takingcarabusiness.com. I'm on like all of the social medias, TikTok, the Instas, the Facebooks, the LinkedIns, the Alignables. Come find me. I'm ready. If you're ready, I'm ready.
All right. All right. That is, and you have so much valuable content to share. And you mentioned the executive coach, we tend to think of business, but mothers are executive coaches in the home, and dads too. Hopefully both parents are parenting and they're working together. And leadership, I can see the value that would be to create more leaders like the employer you had, who reached out to you and said, we will create a job where you need to be. What would the world of business be like if we had more leaders like that?
Yeah. What would the world be like if we had families like that?
Yes. If we had national leaders like that.
Communities. Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. So this is designed. I have everything from working parents to stay-home parents to puppeteers to CEOs, everyone in between. This course is designed to impact all. It's designed to help. If you are a meat suit full of hormone soup and made of stardust, I have a system that will make peopling easier.
All right. Well worth checking into. So takingcareofbusiness.com.
And mommies and daddies out there staying home. Fun fact, just recently learned through some connections at some universities, if you've been a stay-home parent for 2 years, you can go and test out of an MBA. Did you know that a business management course, because you done been running a business, is called your house?
Yep, I believe it.
Yep. So colleges are now offering that. Go get your MBA. You earned it.
That is good. I love it. I love it. Well, Cara Jean, thank you so much for joining us. Go visit her website. She has a lot to offer. Watch her show. She's amazing.
Emmylou, you're amazing. Thank you so much for having me here and sharing your amazing group with me. This was wonderful.
All right. And so for my viewers, join me again next week at the same time. No, I'm now on Mondays, 7 p.m. Pacific. Until then, love yourself, love your families. Let's make the world a better place by strengthening families. This is Emmylou Penrod with healingyourfamilies.com.